Player previews for the Colorado Avalanche, DNVR Avalanche season previews. In fact, getting into individuals here with Gabriel Landeskog, the captain himself, the absolute man rocket, confirmed by teammates alike. Gabe is everything a man wants to be, is he not?
Name a more perfect human.
Yeah, you can't do it. It's actually impossible. He's even got dad strength now, so he'll just straight up lift a car off of you to save you if he needs to.
One of the few pockmarks on his record gone. Dad strength added.
Check. The list is growing ever shorter for Gabe the Babe. Look, Gabe, you pretty much know what you're going to get out of on a nightly basis here. He's been captain for the vast majority of his career in Colorado. At one point, the youngest captain ever named. So night in and night out, the Avs just get quality out of Gabe Landeskog.
It's, for a guy drafted second overall, his ceiling is probably just barely disappointing.
Sure.
But his consistency is remarkable. Every single year, you know what you're getting out of the guy. And it's funny I say that because last year we didn't get that. His stats last year were actually a big letdown for probably 60% of the season.
And yet he still made it to 20 goals.
And it's, 9 years in the NHL and only 2 seasons he has not scored 20 goals. And those were the 48-point disaster in which they had one of the worst offenses ever.
Yep.
And his second year in which he only played 36 games because of injury and was a lockout shortened season anyway.
So he gets
the
20
pressure's
goals.
On. The pressure's on for him to get to 20 again this year.
He scored 20. Yeah.
Scored 21 in 54 games last year. So he can do it.
Definitely capable.
But he was also a guy, we don't think of him as a guy that, as a great shooter, but his shooting percentage has been on the rise. No coincidence. Since he started playing third banana next to Mikko Rantanen and Nathan McKinnon as their takeover of the scoring charts began, his shooting percentage just continued to go up as he became the perfect third guy for that line. I mean, the two-way play, everything about him. Gabe Landeskog, it's remarkable how consistent he is, and the person that he is on and off the ice. He sets the tone for the entire franchise.
Yep, the model captain as well, because of course. Also, over these last couple of years, I have to say, has not been hanging out with Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion at all, because that tip game on point. Pull-out game, not weak at all. All right? That's all I'm saying.
This is the approach you want to take?
It's where we're at. We're here now. More so, though, he is not young man Landeskog anymore. Has a child. Is starting to get up there. Look, I mean, he's younger than me, so, he's doing just fine. But he is not going to be the 23-year-old who steps out onto the ice, has one speed, and goes 800% all night long anymore.
Yeah, I definitely think that there is a, what's the word I'm looking for here? There's a conservative approach to his game early in the season now.
Yep.
Where, early in his career, it was the youthful exuberance. And now it's a lot more of, we're saving this because we have, you need to be good day in and day out. You have to come to the office. You have to put in the work. You have to be good to get to the postseason. But that's where it needs to go up another level for him. And if they're gonna accomplish the goals that they've set out for themselves, he has to continue to be an impact guy for them when the postseason starts. And I don't know, despite the point totals the last 2 years, which have been respectable, I don't know that he has reached that level for them. I don't know that he has been the best version of Landeskog once they got to the postseason. The numbers look good. He had 13 points in 14 games last year, but just 2 goals.
And that leads us to our big question. Essentially, have we seen the best of Gabe Landeskog? Is this the end of his prime?
Yeah, 2 seasons ago, if you look at it, even when it was happening, we all knew that this was kind of going to be the big outlier, right?
Yeah.
He was a point per game guy, 75 points in 73 games. His only 30-goal season of his career, and the only time he's ever broken 40 assists. Although he's come close a couple of times. Like, it was the major outlier. And
Throwing
usually
pucks in max general direction helps, but
usually when you see that big season from a guy, that's typically like it comes right in the middle of the prime when he's at his very, very best.
Yep.
And then, he'll get back to a regular level, and then it'll be a slow decline from there.
Yeah.
How many more years of that? We talked about this with Nazem Kadri. How many more years of effectiveness do we see out of Gabe Landeskog? He's always been kind of a physical guy. He's pretty much good for 140 hits a year. He blocks about 60 shots per season. There's a lot of wear and tear. He's been in the league since he was 19 years old. He doesn't miss tons of games. He misses right around about 10 games per year because of that wear and tear. Offensively, he's always been a really underrated passer. His assist game has always been very good, and he always finds his way to 20 points. As long as he just keeps doing that, he's fine. But at some point, when guys get into their late 20s, we start to talk about this. There will be a small step back. And when that happens for him, is he still a top-line player?
Just stylistically, particularly offensively, there's enough of that power forward element to his game that, let's be honest, we're not worried about it this year, really. Probably not even next year. But with his contract coming up at the end of this season, there's always the question of when those guys just can't do it anymore, can't play the style that makes them effective.
We're seeing it in Dallas right now with Jamie Benn.
Yep.
What happens when a guy that you would consider a power forward ages? What happens when his body starts to break down ever so slightly? Jamie Benn has been on a steady decline for a number of years, and he's making a ton of money. Now, Landeskog's heights, his peaks were never as high as Ben's, so next contract should not be quite as onerous as what Jamie Benn and the Stars agreed to. But how Landeskog ages is a very fair question, because this is his last big payday, and how much of their prime will Colorado be paying for on a new contract?
Yep. So with all of that cause for concern and worry, let's throw all that out the window, bring in our expectations, if only to say Landy's never leaving. He's going to be an Av for life, and everyone is going to love it.
I didn't really know what else to say in terms of expectations for on ice for maybe the most consistent guy on the team, and certainly one of the most consistent guys in the league. He is good. You can, the start of the season, 82 games, you put him down for 20 and 30, and then you start to build from there.
Yep.
Honestly, probably even 20 and 35, and you start to build from there.
Yeah.
In a 56 games season,
prorated to 15 and 25 or whatever, but yeah.
Your concern with a 56 game season is that he has the start of the year that he had last season and doesn't have the finish.
Yep.
Because he had the slow start last year where it wasn't bad, but he his point totals were carried a great deal by the fact that he had 23 points in his last 21 games in the regular season. That really elevated it to, oh, this is normal Landy season. But he got just absurdly hot as the injuries piled up around them again. That second wave, he was the guy that was just playing through all of it. And 56 games, they don't really have as much time for him to kind of find his game. He's got to come out and be Landy in a hurry.
Yep, 100%, top to bottom. When you're the captain of a team, regardless of Landeskog or any other team in the league, leading by example is important. And production on the ice is how you win hockey games. Pretty straightforward to me in that regard.
Yep.
So that's the captain. That's what Colorado is looking for him to do in the coming season. I'm not worried about it. I don't think AJ's worried about it. This is probably more of a long-term outlook of our concerns in the immediate. Go ready to figure out who he's going to hand the cup to.
Yeah, second guy. That should be who gets the cup after him should be the biggest concern for Landeskog this year.
All right. We'll end it on that note. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Plenty more preview videos as well as other hockey, basketball, football, you name it content on the YouTube channel. For more Avalanche stuff, head on over to thednvr.com. Check out AJ's amazing articles and all of our other content as well. We will see you in the next one.